My dear friends, since we have now reestablished all the Masses on our Sunday Mass schedule, I thought we should review the various precautions we're making to make sure that the worship space is as safe as humanly possible. The first is the creation of a proper distancing space. The church's normal capacity is 1,000. We have reduced that to 200 by blocking off a large number of the pews. We are essentially using 1 out of 3 pews. For every 3 pews, 2 are roped off to create a distance between pews. Within the pew, we have tapes on the back of the pews to indicate 6-foot difference between people sitting. Obviously, if you're coming in as a family, living together, you're not going to be distancing yourself with 6 feet sitting in a pew. So a couple with 2 children are going to be sitting together. But if you're coming in as an individual, then you have a proper sense of the type of distancing you need. Furthermore, we're going to have tapes, blue tapes again, on the floor where the aisles go to receive communion. And so again, when you're receiving communion, processing up for the sacrament, you'll see the blue tape, which will give you a 6-foot distance between you and the person in front of you. And since we're only going to be distributing communion with 1 Eucharistic minister per station, the communion procession, the communion line, will be a single line. So people won't be standing side by side. That will also give a good sense of distance. Finally, if we overflow out of the church nave, we have the St. Bridget Hall set up with approximately 70 to 75 chairs. They are properly distanced so that we can have an overflow capacity. When the church fills up, the ushers will direct people into St. Bridget's Hall, where the Mass will be live streamed. And there'll be also tape on the area where people are going up to communion. During communion time, an extraordinary minister of Holy Communion will go into the hall to make sure everyone has communion. And on the few occasions, very few, when even that overflows, we have enough room in the vestibule to set up another 10 to 15 chairs. So there's going to be, at least for now, sufficient room with the regular needed space. Second point you would need to remember is that we do have our cleaning crew coming in after all the Masses, wiping down the surfaces with a fluid cleanser so that the actual surfaces of the pews will be clean and safe. And finally, we are providing, for those who forget masks, we are providing paper masks in the vestibule of the church with a sign recommending if you've forgotten your mask, take one. We strongly recommend that you use a mask if you can, and take one if you do not have one on you, if you've forgotten it. As the celebrant who stands and sits in the sanctuary overlooking the entire nave and the entire worshiping body, my reaction is generally the number of people who do not have masks are very, very few, and they are all well distanced from everyone else. So this is not a problem. We're trying to get everyone to have masks, but we're not being obstructive about it. So please wear your mask, but don't be worried about the handful, literally handful, 5 or 6 people sitting isolated who may have masks, who may not have masks. We're trying as much as possible to make things as safe and secure as we can. There is no absolute guarantees about doing this. We're making our best effort, and we hope that if we all remain charitable, we all take precautions, and we have a certain level of tolerance, we will all remain safe and be of a state of mind where we could worship God and love our fellow neighbor as best we can. So be confident that the worship environment is safe, and safe as we can possibly make it for all practical purposes. Thank you very much.